So if you're in the ages of 20 to 29, you're probably wasting a lot of time if you're not doing these 5 things. Now, the things I wrote aren't really what most people would tell you because I took it in a slightly different approach. If you are 30 or 40, you can also use these tips. In fact, I recommend if you're 30 or 40 to actually take a listen because these things could actually help you potentially even more. You see a lot of hustle culture these days. It's always go, go, go. But in reality, this isn't really normal. It doesn't mean don't work hard, but we definitely shouldn't be lazy. I mean, in the mornings, it's fine to take things slow, right? You're just getting up. It's good to take a walk, go outside, do our own things. But when your body is ready to work, that's when you should be working hard. But when we have those downtimes, you definitely want to make sure that you are spending that time relaxing. You're spending time with your family, spending time with your friends. Even reading a good book to educate yourself can go a long way. And that can be fiction, right? It doesn't have to be nonfiction. It doesn't have to be a book on investing, right? It doesn't have to be a book on motivation. It could literally be reading Pinocchio, because actually books like Pinocchio, right? That teaches you a lot about how evil hedonism is. It's a pretty crazy story if you actually look into it. So any fiction really can be a good thing too. And it seems like nowadays with our culture online, having that downtime is almost feels like it's a waste of time, but it really isn't. Your body needs it. Your body's constantly begging to have those times for rest, to just relax your brain, right? Even if you're playing a video game, right? You're still using you need to create some time during your day to just relax. And I think people online like Andrew Tate or Gary Vee with this hustle culture, it's just not normal. And I really think that people way back then are old school philosophers, people from ancient Greece, they'd be laughing at us. And there's tons of videos that talk about that. And I wouldn't even mind making a whole video that goes more in detail with that topic. Now, number 2 is you need to start making mistakes. That's how you grow. A lot of young men are afraid of failure, but the most successful men are the ones who are actually okay with making those mistakes. For example, this is a small mistake, right? I hired somebody overseas to find me leads for my business. He put Doritos as one of the leads. He put Five Below. I think even McDonald's is one of them. Like, I don't know what was wrong with him, but I definitely wasted some money. It wasn't a big amount of money being wasted, but it was definitely something I learned. Maybe I wasn't specific enough with directions. Maybe I just need to hire somebody in the United States to find me leads for my businesses. We always make mistakes. We make mistakes as children. That's how we learn to walk. That's how we learn to eat and exercise. But as we get older, we need to learn to improve on these things. You also have to remember too, like, if you want to start eating healthy, you got to realize there's people out there trying to sell you stupid crap. Whether it's a diet like the carnivore diet, vegan, animal-based diet, that's a somewhat newer one. A lot of them are just trying to sell you supplements or even a course. If we think about it, it's not that hard to be healthy. You just need to eat fruits, vegetables, meats, nuts, and seeds. Eat when you're hungry. Go outside in the sun. Have a couple healthy meals a day. Drink filtered water. It's not really that difficult depending on your situation. Number 3 is not investing early enough. If you are not investing in good quality index funds, you could be down hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on how much you have not invested in yet. Now think about that in reverse, right? If you've put in $10,000 in your 40s, you're not going to see as much of a compounding effect as you would in your 20s. If you invest in your 20s, you're giving yourself 40 years to see big returns, and that could potentially 30x, guys. Like, again, we don't know what's going to happen in the market because there's crashes, right? There's obviously times when everything just shoots up. If you just look at how the S&P 500's grown, like, man, like if you invested even since COVID, at this point, you would have doubled your money. Number 4 is not learning self-defense. Most people online will just say you should just be lifting weights. You should be lifting weights, but you really should be learning to fight. If you want a family in your future, if you just want to have your own house, you should learn to defend yourself. You should learn to defend your husband, your wife, your children. Find yourself a boxing gym. Learn kickboxing. Learn MMA. Learn jiu-jitsu. It's an art form. It takes a lifetime to master, guys. So if you show up and are consistent with it, you can get really good at learning how to fight. And that will carry with you. You need to train your brain to know how to respond to attacks. If someone's coming at you with a weapon, if someone puts you in a headlock, how do you get out of those things? You got to learn to get good at them. And I get those gyms can be costly, but You know, there's a lot of videos online that can teach you. Obviously, you want to make sure they're good teachers with good backgrounds. And even taking a trial class in person could really help you set yourself in the right direction by learning proper form. You know, you got to learn how to throw a punch correct, because if you throw a punch incorrectly, you could break your arm. So you definitely want to be careful in that aspect. For number 5 is not starting a business. I mean, some men aren't cut out for it, and that's fine. We need employees. We need people doing the jobs. But at the end of the day, we need ideas. That's just how America was formed, right? We need businesses. We need to be able to create so many businesses where there are employees. And if you have a skill set like mowing lawns or even just making really cool artwork, you can sell stuff, right? You can sell those services, you can sell those products. So I would say if you are going to start a business, you need to switch your mindset first on how can I help other people. Don't think money right away. Think of how can I help this person, right? Using my skills. What was I built for? Because we all have skill sets. We're all good at one thing. We're all good at another. You just got to find what works for you. And it doesn't even have to be your own business, right? If you're good at building stuff, do construction. If you're good at computers, learn cybersecurity, do those things. Find the thing you want to do. Now, that's going to do it with this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know. Definitely comment below what you think. If you guys have any other tips that you think could help each other out, definitely comment down below, and I'll talk to you guys soon.